my name's Alicia, but here we are. Hello, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm sure many of you are, but I am Alicia and I post book content. I enjoy reading books, I enjoy posting on TikTok and Instagram, and now I ventured over to YouTube. With that out of the way, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the beginning of the year book tag. So I've got the questions in front of me, so if you see me, I should probably be looking here, shouldn't I? But I've got the questions in front of me, so if you see me looking down, that's why, because they're on my iPad below the camera. I keep looking at my face as well, just to make sure that I'm in focus. So, first question, how many books are you planning on reading in 2025? So I've set my Goodreads at 50 books. I think I read 38 last year, so I read 38 last year and now I've set it to 50. I thought I'd set it a little bit higher. I'm sure I can do that because last year I didn't start reading, and I read ACOTAR in January and I read Akamath in February, but then I had a lot of uni work to do, so I didn't read anything March, April, May. I started reading again in June, so I technically read 36 books between June and December. So I definitely think that I can do 50 from January to December. I might do more, I might do less. I'm trying not to put pressure on it because it's all fun. I love reading, so I'm trying not to put pressure on it, but I think 50 is doable for me. I think it's achievable, so I've gone for 50. Oh, little fly. Next question, a book you're likely to reread this year. So there's so many books that I want to read that are new, but I only started reading in 2023. So as an adult, obviously I've been able to read since I was a child, but I started reading in 2023 with ACOTAR, and since then it's just taken off like it has for like many people. So I don't know if I'm going to do a reread this year. If I did do a reread, it would be ACOTAR. Possibly, I should have done it before now, but possibly Fourth Wing. Maybe I'll read Onyx Storm when it comes out, and then later in the year I'll do like a Fourth Wing like reread, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't really think there's any books that I want to reread because there's so many new books that I want to read. Because I'm not a particularly fast reader, but I'm not a slow reader. I'm like somewhere in the middle. I would rather read new books than go back to another book. Once I've got all the series that I want to read and books that I want to read like ASAP, like out of the way, then yeah, maybe I'll do a reread of something. There has been like a slight pull from ACOTAR to reread it again. I keep seeing quotes and things like that, and I'm just like, do I reread it? But I'm holding off for now. A priority read on your 2025 TBR. For me, I would say Zodiac Academy. I think I'm currently reading Throne of Glass, so I'm on Crown of Midnight, but I think after Throne of Glass, I really want to read Zodiac Academy. There's a lot of new releases coming out this year that I have pre-ordered, but I think Zodiac Academy, the series, is priority, like top of my list. I do want to read Crescent City. Don't know if I'm going to go straight into it after Throne of Glass, but I think it's going to be Zodiac Academy for me because I get serious FOMO. So I see everyone reading it and like putting quotes out. I'm trying to scroll past the spoilers on TikTok, but I think Zodiac Academy is going to be my top priority after I've read Throne of Glass. An author you won't be reading more books from this year. Oh, that's a tough one because I don't think there's any authors that I dislike, and I never like to discount an author based on one book or one series because sometimes their other books can be wildly different. Let me have a look on my shelf. I don't know. No, I genuinely don't know. I mean, I suppose an author that I won't be reading more books from this year. I've read one book by this author and it just didn't capture me. Probably, I'm really into romantic books, so this feels like I'm just saying it to answer the question, but probably Colleen Hoover. I read Verity and it was alright, but her other works they're not for me, essentially. They don't pull me, I don't have them on my TBR, so I probably won't read anything from Colleen Hoover. Another book I did dislike this year was Bride by Ali Hazelwood, but I know Ali Hazelwood's other books are quite different, so I would never discount it just because I didn't like Bride, because I know a lot of people did like Bride and love her other stuff, so I don't know, I'd probably just stick with Colleen Hoover, to be honest. Something new you want to read, new genres or tropes. I think I want to get into dark romance. I've read Haunting Adeline. I've not read Hunting Adeline. I've read Satan's Affair, No Place to Hide. And that's the only sort of dark romance I've got into. But I think I want to read Devil's Night by Penelope Douglas, that series. And I want to read, is it the Sinners series? Or no, that one as well, possibly, with like Sinner, Saint, all that. And then Lee Rivers. I want to start reading some Lee Rivers books because some of the girls that I talked to on BookTok really, really love them. Some of them have already read Devil's Night, absolutely loved it, and now they're reading like the, what is it, Voracious, Insatiable, that sort of that series. So I do want to read that because I feel like I'm missing out. I'm getting FOMO over it. So I think I do want to read those series, and I think dark romance is a genre that I want to delve into. A popular book you want to read. Okay, so for me this is really easy because every single book I want to read is popular. I know I should probably delve into other books and, you know, have a little bit of research for myself, but I tend to just, whatever's going, I'll just read it. So a popular book I want to read, I could probably choose any and they'll all be popular. So I want to read Zodiac Academy, I want to read Crescent City, I want to read A City of Gods and Monsters from the House of Devils series. I want to read that whole series, but obviously start with that book. I want to read, I mean, my whole bookshelf is full of just like popular books. Magnolia Parks, I want to read that series as well. So there's quite a few that are quite popular that I want to read. Light Lark, I've not read that yet. There's so much I've not read because I started my sort of journey into reading as an adult last year. So I've literally only read 38 books from June to December. So there's so many that I could list that I want to read. I want to read so many popular books. But yeah, those will be that's a little list just for now. Most anticipated book release of 2025. Definitely, by the time this video is filmed, Onyx Storm isn't out yet. It might be out by the time I post it, but I want to read Onyx Storm. I also want to read The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. I also want to read Fearless by Lauren Roberts. What else? Fae and Alchemy Book 2 by Callie Hart. Ow, my knuckle just clicked. Yeah, Fae and Alchemy 2 by Callie Hart. I want to read that one. And I think they're my most anticipated releases, probably, yeah. Onyx Storm, Fearless, Wild and Wrangled, actually, by Lila Sage. I love the Rebel Blue Ranch series, so those ones. Night and the Moth and the Fae and Alchemy, because I loved Quicksilver. I loved it so much. Took a little pause to have some lunch. So where was I? A bookish goal for 2025. Probably for me, a bookish goal would be, I really don't know. I don't really set goals. I do it on my TikTok, like I set goals every month, but I don't really set them like for the year. Obviously I've got my reading goal. I'd probably say a bookish goal for me is to venture more outside of my genre, because I do tend to stick to just romantasy. So I do love romantasy, and I don't think there's anything wrong with just reading romantasy, but I would like to see if there's any of the genres that I like. So like I said in the previous one, I would like to try dark romance, but I might delve more into contemporary romance as well. So maybe a bookish goal for me is to read like one contemporary romance per month or something like that, and just have a look and see, dip my toes in, see what I like, see what I don't. Can't hit. A book that's been on your TBR that you probably won't ever read. I mean, going off my last one, I literally was just saying that I'll try more contemporary romance, but I've had Happy Place by Emily Henry on my TBR for probably like a year, and every time I put it on my monthly TBR, I just don't read it. So maybe, I don't know, I can't bring myself to read it. I know I build TBRs, but I'm also like a mood reader, so I find it really hard if I'm not in the mood to read it, and I'm never in the mood to read it. So it's been on my TBR forever, but I don't want to say that I'll never read it, because that's very final, isn't it? That's very final. That's like saying nah, but that's been on my TBR for a while. A series you want to read this year. So I've just posted on my TikTok. You can follow me. I'll leave a thingy. You can follow me if you like, I was supposed to say. But I've just posted on my TikTok today a few series that I want to read actually in 2025. So like I said, I want to read Zodiac Academy, Crescent City, Caraval, which you can see in behind me, but I've not read that yet. I want to read Caraval, Once Upon a Broken Heart, Daughter of No Worlds, that series. War of Lost Hearts, I want to read that series. I also want to read and House of Devils series. So there's quite a few series that I actually want to read this year. And like Zodiac Academy, for example, that's quite hefty. So I'm hoping I can get through them all, but we shall see. But those are the series that I want to read this year. Your auto buy authors going into 2025. I will always buy books by Chris Broadbent. I absolutely love the Crowns of Naxia series, and I want to read Daughter of No Worlds and that series. Someone else I will always buy their books is obviously Rebecca Yarros, Sarah J Maas, Rachel Gillig. I've already pre-ordered The Night and the Moth, which is out in May, I think. Who else? Callie Hart. I will always buy books by Callie Hart, so they're probably my favourites. Callie Hart, Rachel Gillig, Carissa Broadbent, and then the obvious ones like Rebecca. Actually, I don't know. I'm saying Rebecca Yarros, but I've not read any of her other books. I've read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, and I've pre-ordered Onyx Storm, but I've not read like In the Likely Event and all those other books she's got. So I'd say with Rebecca Yarros, it's auto buy if it's romantasy. If it's not romantasy, then I probably wouldn't buy it. Sarah J Maas, I've got all of her books, I think. Got all the ones that I've got: Crescent City, Throne of Glass, and Akatar. So I don't know if that's all of her books. Maybe I should research that. But they're my auto. I would say I have 3 then. I would say, or 4. I would say I have 4 then. So it's Sarah J Maas, Rachel Gillig, Carissa Broadbent, Callie Hart. Those are my top ones. Rachel Schneider, actually, she's got very good books. But yeah, I'm just going to stick to the 4. Number 12, a book to show adaptation you're excited about this year. Quicksilver and Fourth Wing. They're both in the works, aren't they? I think. But I'm very excited about Quicksilver. But I always panic when they do book to show adaptations. If the people in it don't look exactly like I've pictured them, I'm going to be very disappointed. But I know that's like few and far between that's going to happen, but hopefully they do. Hopefully it's not disappointing. So Quicksilver and Fourth Wing, I'm very excited. I don't know if they're coming out this year, but I know they're in the works. So those 2. A sequel you're anticipating. A sequel I'm anticipating. Obviously Onyx Storm, Fearless, Onyx Storm, Rebecca Yarros, Fearless, Lauren Roberts, Wild and Wrangled, Lila Sage. I don't know if that's a sequel or like, you know, do you call it a sequel? Because they're all on Rebel Blue Ranch, but they all follow different people. But anyway, yeah, Wild and Wrangled, let's say that one. What's it called? Wrath of the Fallen, Amber V. Nicole. I've not read Dawn of the Cursed Queen, but I've read The Book of Asriel and The Throne of Broken Gods. So I am anticipating Wrath of the Fallen in August. I can't wait for that one. Bookish things you're leaving in 2024. Bookish things you're leaving in 2024. I don't know, to be honest. And I know I've said throughout this that I'm going to try and read contemporary romance, but I'm going to say if I get 6 months into the year and I've tried a contemporary romance book every single month and I dislike it, I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to try and force myself to read books that I don't want to read, because, and this is nothing against When the Moon Hatched, because I know it's a fabulous book, but like I said previously, I'm a mood reader. So if I'm not in the mood, I won't read it. I tried to read When the Moon Hatched in October and it put me in a 2-week book slump. I just couldn't read anything, couldn't pick it up, didn't want to pick it up. And I really want to read that book because I'm really into romantasy. And I've heard it's absolutely amazing. Like, I love complicated world building and all that, but that's what I'm leaving in 2024. Trying to force myself to read books that I know I don't want to read at that moment. I'm just going to go with the flow and go where the mood takes me. What to expect from this account? Wow, that's a good one, actually. So I'm really new to YouTube. I'm new to Book Talk, really. I only started my Book Talk in July. So I would say, you know, I do a lot of book reviews. I do a lot of trends on my Book Talk. I do a lot of recommendations and my anticipated reads, things like that. I love to yap. I love to talk. So what to expect from this account? You can expect a lot more of the same, just me sitting down and chatting about books. Like, I've got a busy life, as I'm sure many of you do. I've got a toddler. this is literally the only hour that I've got until Monday to sit down and film this. So, because when it's just me and her, when her dad goes to work, I can't just leave her downstairs while I film. So I have to find like pockets of time where I can film. So I am consistent in posting, but I'll only be posting like once a week. But I think that's enough. But I do like to sit and yap about books. So if you like to sit and yap about books, then please join me. Please subscribe. But I think you can just expect more of the same from this channel. A lot of yapping, a lot of cozy chats. You know, the like. How has your reading taste evolved from last year? I don't think it has. I don't think it has. I started off with ACOTAR and I'm still reading Romantasy, and Romantasy is where my heart is. So I think it's evolved in terms of how I consume the books. Previously to ACOTAR, I would read like one book every couple of months. Now I'm consistently reading every single night. But I don't think my tastes have changed, to be honest. And for good reason, because Romantasy is just the love of my life. So I don't think my book tastes have changed in 2024, but who knows, they might change in the future, because I'm very early into my reading journey, so who knows, we'll see how it goes. Booktube creators who inspire you. What Emmy reads, I love her content. I found her on BookTok. She's the reason I created my BookTok, and then I moved over to BookTube because I saw her BookTube and I was like, oh my god, that looks so fun, I want to do that too. So what Emmy reads, Mariana reads. I think she's like, I love her attitude and I just love her book recommendations. Larry as well. I mean, they kind of go together, don't they? Those are the three at the moment. But I'm very new to BookTube. I've only been watching the people that I've watched on TikTok. So at the moment, it's What Emmy Reads, Mariana Reads, and Larry. Something you want to say to anyone wanting to start a bookish account? Oh, it's everyone's going to say the same thing, but just do it. Like, just do it. I've wanted to do it I've wanted to create a social media account of some sort for absolute years, but I've always been so scared because I was so scared of like what people would think. But I think as you get older, you stop caring, and you know, there's a lot of people that I don't speak to anymore that I thought would have judged me for it. So I'd say just do it, and you know, what's the worst that can happen? If someone judges you, I'm sure they wouldn't say it to your face anyway, but I would say absolutely just do it. If it's something you enjoy, if it's something you love, like I love editing, but I love creating and I love reading, so it just goes hand in hand for me. But if you want to do it, I'd say absolutely just do it. Go for it. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? 2025 is the year for BookTube and book content and creating that social media page. So that was everything on the book tag. That was all the questions. Thank you so much for watching. I tag anyone who wants to do this. I think it's just an easy content idea, and you can just sit down and chat, talk about books. People can get to know you a little bit more, and it's just nice. It's just a nice thing to do. So I tag anyone who wants to do it. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.